Here we have another example problem for integrals involving roots. So we want to integrate the following expression, and these can be a little bit tricky if we're not familiar with how to perform the u substitution. So that's what we'll focus in on for this expression or for this example problem. And typically when we do a u substitution, you'll select some term for your u, and then you'll immediately take the derivative of u to get du, and then try to back substitute into your original expression. But this won't work in this case. And so what we'll do is a different method for u substitution. And so that's the main thing in this integral for how to solve it is you want to select a u, which is the rooted term, so square root of 1 minus w, and rather than immediately taking du, we want to solve for this w term. So we can go ahead and do that, and we'll get w is equal to 1 minus u squared, and then we'll get dw, which is equal to negative 2u du. And so that's the main point of these types of expressions. You want, rather than doing u and du, you want to get w and dw in terms of your u. And so you can go ahead and back substitute this into this original expression, and we'll get the following integral. And after simplifying it, you can see that we'll have an easy integral to perform. We can go ahead and evaluate this integral by doing partial fraction decomposition. And we won't look at the math for this partial fraction decomposition, but it's pretty easy to follow, where you'll ultimately have a term and a b term, and then you can select some u values to isolate this a and b term. And so we'll get the following for our a and b terms. We can go ahead and back substitute that into our original expression. And so this integral will transform to the following integral after doing partial fraction decomposition. And then this is very easy to integrate these two terms. And so what we're left with is our expression. And the last step is we can go ahead and back substitute our original u and get our solution. So the main point in these types of integrals where you have some sort of root is to ultimately select a u and then solve for w. That is the main point in these expressions. And then the rest of the math is pretty easy to follow.